We started looking at all the spaces just after we'd arrived, well, after I'd arrived. So everything was brand new in terms of the space, the village, getting my bearings, and looking at all the different spaces. I liked the thing that I really liked the most about this one was the fact that it's on the edge. It actually makes sense for me to be here in terms of the immediacy of what I'm doing and the impact in terms of colors and space. From a very young age, I'm used to moving around and lack of stability, if you want to call it that. There are lots of ways of looking at that. But I consider myself very privileged to have seen so many countries. This is my first time in India, and you know, it's a bit late in the game of my life to be doing India for the first time, but I never did that backpacking stuff, so be it. And people always say this about India, oh, it's the colours, it's the colours. I'm just like, yeah. Oh. But it's true. Along the car journey here, it was a long car journey, and the thing that I was staring out the window all the time, as one does when in a new place, and just random bursts of colour. I discovered the baskets when going through your storage room. Because part of the concept of this work was, you said, use what's around you. In relation to using a very organic, naturally occurring material and putting something completely plastic and neon on it, I think that has to do with my experience of India, that whole thing about bursts of colours in unexpected places. I've been sitting on this rock for about 2 weeks now, looking out at this, which I consider my television screen, and seeing life go past. It's really
What have you been like experiencing here when people walk past, especially women, and see these baskets? What do they do?
The colour started coming in. I had a whole new audience. It was the women who work in the fields. One woman said something very interesting. She said, I would never use a basket like this in the field. I would use it for special occasions like weddings and parties, because it'd be really nice to carry food in it. And even if that is the only thing that comes out of it, that's already, to my mind, a huge success. They don't have to like it, they don't have to dislike it, but the impact is made, and looking at something very familiar in a different way is kind of what it's all about for me.
What strikes me that what you have been doing here is a very organic, hands-on, work in progress kind of approach.
Because spending 5 days here with the women and girls working together, really not in that kind of hello, where are you from, but in the kind of 9 to 5, let's sit here, let's talk, let's listen to music, let's not talk, let's just be, was quite insightful. So I think when I say the shop of you, the shop of me, it kind of comes together on that level. And yes, you're right, it didn't start off this way, but it really evolved into that process, and I feel quite peaceful and happy with the way it's going. The concept was to make something that the locals recognize, and these baskets seem to be a good way to do it, because it's something that is prevalent in everyday life here and very visible. More conceptually speaking, it was that whole idea of we're all in this together, irrespective of where we are, who we are, language, time zones, irrelevant.